October 9, 1988, Gail Barris was spotted leaving a coffee shop in the early hours of the morning, accompanied by a man. It was the last time Barris was ever seen alive. She was a 30-year-old single mother of 3 from Michigan. Life was hard. She worked at 2 different local bars to be able to survive and take care of her children. In the early hours of October 9, 1988, between 3 to 4 a.m., Barris was spotted leaving Speed's coffee shop in Battle Creek, Michigan. She was accompanied by a dark-haired man, and that was the last time anyone saw her alive. On October 25th, hunters from Emmett, a nearby town, made a horrifying discovery. They found a lifeless body of a woman laying on River Road. The authorities quickly identified the body to be that of Gail Barris, and an extensive investigation followed. Witnesses were identified and interviewed, and evidence was collected from the crime scene. On October 22nd, just a few days before Barris' body being discovered, and almost 2 weeks after her disappearance, a 24-year-old man named Roger Plato was approached by authorities. Plato's car matched the description from a victim of a different abduction and assault cause. At 4:30 p.m., authorities attempted to detain him at gunpoint while he was walking to his car at a parking lot in Bellevue. Plato became aggressive and refused to cooperate and start fighting back. He was shot when he tried to wrestle the gun from a detective and died from the injuries. Never interviewed. Authorities performed an autopsy, and a blood sample was taken before the body was cremated, which was stored at a private lab at the time. Investigators of Barris' case turned their attention to Plato's friend and former roommate, Richard Compton. Compton had a vast criminal career, but when approached by investigators, he backed off and denied knowing anything. With no further leads or developments, Barris' case eventually went cold. In 2018, Battle Creek cold case detective Scott Marshall reinvestigated the case. One of his first discoveries was that Compton's DNA had never been tested, and he became his #1 suspect. After some investigation, Detective Marshall discovered that he had died in 2009, and his body was buried in the County International Cemetery in Austin, Texas. Compton was 59 years old when he died. Detective Marshall got a search warrant and traveled to Texas to exhume Compton's body. After examination, it was discovered that Compton's DNA samples didn't match that found on Barris' body, but matched previously unidentified hairs connected to the crime scene. In November 2020, a break in the case emerged, almost by luck. Sergeant Chris Batchick of the Calhoun County Sheriff's Department was taking an inventory of evidence at the department and found a vial containing the blood sample taken from Plato. On January 30th, 2021, it was announced that a state police lab connected the blood to DNA found on Gail Barris' body. Confirming Plato as responsible for assaulting and taking her life, it is most likely that Compton witnessed it happening. Both men have already died, and they never had to pay for this horrible crime. However, the Barris family has expressed their relief on finally being able to have some kind of closure. Detective Marshall said DNA technology is the future for solving cold cases.